Listen to the sound of those ashy hands. Yes, sir. Don't make that noise again. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Alex G, and I'm alongside Mal, and this is the A Couple of Things podcast where we're here to talk about a couple of things. We took a week off last episode just because, like, honestly, not gonna lie, I was dead tired. There was a lot going on. So, unfortunately, we did miss the episode, but we are back and we're better than ever. We got a ton of topics to talk about. Just kidding. We really don't.
You know, we're gonna talk about some of the stuff we was supposed to talk about last week too. I guess. Right? But it's not a lot. But
It's about to be a 3 hour.
did a lot even happen this week?
Girl, get the tuna out the mic.
Oh,
Go
bad.
eat somewhere else. But yeah, I don't even know if anything happened that we that was so pressing for us to talk about anyway. But maybe there is. There's always something to talk about. But do you have a list? Because we could just start getting into it now. Yeah, it was a good 2 week break. It's getting cold out, which I love. Girl, stop chewing into the mic.
I'm sorry, you can't hear me.
I can hear you. That's what I said.
Sorry.
Listen, these mics pick up everything. These are the good mics. But yeah, love the weather. It's Halloween. We're recording on Halloween, which is super trash that it's on a Sunday because Saturdays would have been insane. I would have definitely probably, honestly, in all seriousness, if Halloween was on Saturday this year, I probably would have went outside.
If it was on Saturday.
Yeah, probably would have went outdoors.
A lot of people did celebrate yesterday though. That's what
did.
people were saying. They're like, I saw like a tweet where it's like, oh, mostly did you guys make the 30th Halloween this year? Because I guess everybody was doing their plans.
Yeah, because we got work tomorrow. It's a mess.
Nah, cause really, if you think about it, next Halloween we're gonna be 26. Like we really gotta start doing the young fun stuff before we get older, and then Halloween turns into what it was as a kid. Cause when was the last time you did anything for Halloween? Like a long time ago, right? Our junior year? No, it had to be sophomore year. That time we went out with it was junior year. That time we went out with Alex. We went to that place in Passaic.
Yeah, in terms of partying, yeah. But
And then for me, it was the year after that when I went out with my old friends.
We still do Halloween stuff though.
That was senior year, and I wasn't even supposed to be out because I was crossing for AK.
We still do Halloween stuff though. We've done Halloween themed things, just not gone and party.
Yeah, like we did like last year, literally on this day last year, we did the terror trails. We did that on Halloween day. That came up in my time out. We did that hayride, remember? And I just got a silk press that day. I decided to go outside. I didn't know it was gonna be humid. But it was humid that day, remember? And my silk press puffed up. I was literally about to start crying because my hair was so nice. But it's whatever. But yeah, we haven't did like anything like party wise, like where we actually dressed up and did stuff, you know? And it's like you don't even have to know people to get invited to stuff like parties and stuff. They literally just have Halloween themed like club events, bars. Like we could go out. So next year, let's do it next year. And we should have did something scary this year, but that's why you didn't want to do it. You didn't want to do nothing scary. I wanted to go to the asylum, Brighton Asylum.
Yeah, I get bored of that stuff.
Yeah, but you say that, but then we went to Bain, and that was a completely different experience that we never had before. And it was
Only
like,
reason why is because like
crazy.
I haven't had the Halloween experience in the penitentiaries or asylums, but I've been like during the day, and I just
They're
don't.
scary during the day. You just don't want that energy.
No, I just don't like. I get maybe you know what the thing is about me is that just like everybody should. You should take your past experiences and then use it to kind of make assumptions about the future. I kind of do the same thing where it's like, okay, well, like how fun could it have been? Bane was different because they don't let you take pictures. They don't let you
And it was
like.
an adult. That was literally an adult haunted place, and they could
Yeah.
touch you. We never experienced that, but that's how the Brighton Asylum I heard was too.
But what are they gonna do? Like jump out the bars? You know what I mean? Like I feel like with Bane at least they had like more free creative reign. But like, and if you're in a penitentiary or an asylum, how much more could they do? Well, an asylum maybe is different.
And this asylum apparently is kind of like the same type of thing as Bane, like where they touch you. I seen something crazy. Remember that one haunted house we had to sign the waiver for? I would never do that, but that's like a whole nother level. Like there was this girl that went and she said that they drowned them. I was like, they drowned you? Like that's sick. That's the one. That's the whole. I would never do that, but that would be a completely different experience. But apparently the asylum place was kind of similar to Bane in the aspect of like, it's an adult haunted house, so it's not like the kiddie ones where they could only do like the typical stuff like the chainsaw chase you around. My bad.
Yeah.
But
so that was my only thing. It's not because I'm scared of doing those things. It's just like if I'm gonna do something, I want it to be like if I knew what Bane was before we went, then it wouldn't have even been a question as to me going. I would have went.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard for me to like get behind something sometimes if I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But
so then maybe that's
next year.
This year we didn't really have enough time. Like that was kind of the last minute.
I don't even have like a costume or nothing this year. But I'll
next year
put some
we'll do
effort
more
into it.
Because the thing I'm starting to get worried about as an adult is I feel like time is just passing by. And like time periods don't feel like how they did when we were younger. Like, you know, when you felt like it was October, like the school, there was always stuff happening at school, the movies on Disney Channel, looking forward to dressing up and going out. Now all months are just feeling the same to me. And that's sad. Like, I don't like that. I want to make sure I actually feel like the time. That's why I want to decorate for Christmas. Like, I just want to make sure there's differentiations. Because now like summer went straight into fall and it literally just feels like all meshed into one time period. So.
Yeah, because the other day I took off that random Thursday, and when I was driving around, I saw a school bus, and I'm like, because I don't even have any exposure to school buses.
Yeah, you didn't even feel like people.
I'm like, wait,
yeah, right?
It's October. People are in school right now.
But you're usually not here, but I do see school buses now coming. I guess there's a stop in here, in this housing thing. Ow, my arm hurts.
Yeah,
I got vaccinated, guys.
Anyway.
No, because we've been talking about vaccines on here. I'm just letting them know. I'm vaccinated. I'm immune.
Okay. I wasn't going to talk about any COVID. I said we weren't going to talk about COVID no more.
I forgot I got the shot, so I just moved my arm. My arm hurts.
No,
it's my left arm.
No.
I was letting know. I got my card. I'm out here now. Got my free get out of jail free card right here.
All right, what do we got for today?
I was just bringing up that I got it. I'm going to Canada, so I need to get it anyway. I was going to get it. That's the whole thing. I'm not even trying to be funny. I was going to always get it. I just don't want to be told when to get it. Anyway, Docs. Let's go to Google Docs and see what's on the list. What was I saying? I only have 5 things. Oh, wait, you know what? First, we could talk about what happened today. There needs to be more information. Like, it's kind of vague. Like, I really don't understand what happened or the full story. But I don't know if you guys know BK Tidal Wave. Is that girl? She was in that. What was it? It was actually the site that you're on, Hot New Hip Hop, right? The site you're on. Wasn't it actually them that did that interview with?
I don't know.
The girl who said ISIS. It says HNHH on their mic. So yeah. I don't know if you guys know that viral meme or that viral video, but it's not even that. Like, it's not even she was just from that video. She always going viral because she did that Doja Cat song, like "What a Time to Be Alive." Like that whole song became popular literally because of her. But she died. They said that she died today, so I thought that was like really crazy and unexpected news. I don't see any big like pages like the Shade Room or anything post anything yet. I don't know if they plan to. And I keep seeing reports. I'm sorry, I had soda. I keep seeing reports. Somebody said it's fake, and that the sister apparently said it. I'm sorry. Oh my god, that's soda. What? Her sister said that it was true, but then there was another page that people said that was her sister that said it was false. I don't know. I'm gonna wait for more information, but it seems like it's pretty confirmed as of now. So I just thought that was really sad and random. So it'll be interesting to see, the reports the next 2 days about like if it's true or not or what happened. But yeah, it's sad. I feel like when stuff like that happens, it makes you realize how mortal we all are, because it's like whenever like somebody like who's like a meme or somebody who just had like a really viral post or just somebody who's like famous, I guess you could say, whenever they die, it just seems like it really makes you realize like we're all gonna die one day. So it's just sad. So interesting to see what will come out of that. But yeah, Tidal even tweeted since that's like literally her thing. Like she's like a huge Jay-Z and Beyonce fan, and like she loved Tidal. So that's literally why like her name was BK Tidal Wave, and Tidal even made an official post today. So I don't think they would make a post without anything confirmed. But yeah, crazy news, right? Wasn't that like super unexpected? Because it's like what happened. But we don't know these people. She could have had like enemies. It could have been like shooting related. Who knows? We'll find out. But anyway, do you have anything as of now? So I don't have anything from this week. That's why I want to maybe look. But the first thing I had on here was Boozy. Is it Boozy or Boosie? Wait, I don't know. Is it Boozy or Boosie?
It doesn't matter.
But that's what just happened last week. This might be kind of old news, but he went crazy. Like I think Lil Nas X was trolling him, And he made a tweet with all these slurs, calling him the F word and saying that he wishes death on him, or like telling him that he should kill himself. I just thought that was really inappropriate. I feel like Boosie is kind of low key suspicious because I really feel like if anytime anybody's very angry towards something, whether it be white people with being very overly angry and about their hatred towards black people, like, you know, in the past and now, or just straight people being overly hateful and overly like reactive to gay people, is very suspicious to me, because it's like, why are you so mad? Like, why? I just think it's really weird and kind of like suspect. But yeah, telling somebody they should kill themselves is just like crossing all lines, and I just feel like people don't, not enough people hold Boosie, whatever his name is, accountable. And I just think it's, I don't know, it's just something I wanted to bring up because he's just weird, right? Like, it's not too far. Telling somebody they should kill themselves is a little too far. Like, no matter what, it's not like Lil Nas X did something to him personally. It's not like he hurt his family, killed a family member. Like, he literally is just making jokes, and you're telling him that he should kill himself. Wow, right?
Yeah.
So do you think Boosie's gay? Like, what do you think about people who are overly aggressive towards, like, overly hateful towards a certain group? Because, like, you admit, like, people always say, oh, white people they only hate black people because they want to be us, and they hate us because of our power and how, you know, we're so athletic, so cool. I feel like that's the same thing with straight people hating very viciously on gay people, like, to the point where it's like you're telling somebody to kill himself. Like, why are you so passionately mad about it, you know?
I kind of hate that argument low key because it's one of those like you're, because never mind, whatever.
What?
I don't know. I don't really have any real. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about this topic.
I asked you, what do you think?
No, I don't think he's gay.
So why do you think he's so angry about a joke? Like, if you're not gay, then why are you worried about somebody making little jokes towards you? Like, he's like overly defensive of the fact, like, I'm not gay, get that gay stuff away from me. Like, when people do all that, it's like, whoa, maybe you are, because why are you so like, oh, I'm not gay, no, I'm not. Like, it's like, relax. Like, I feel like if you're comfortable in your masculinity and comfortable in your orientation and just comfortable as a person, that stuff wouldn't bother you. You wouldn't be uncomfortable around it. Like, it would just be like, oh, just another people, like another couple. Okay, how you not comfortable around that, but then two girls kissing and you're gassing it up, and you can't be like, oh, it's not the same thing. It is. It's literally two people of the same sex kissing each other. So I don't know. Men always make that excuse like, oh, two girls kissing, that's different. No, it's not. It's not. How's it different? Because social constructs of how a man should be, how a woman should be. Like, I don't get it. Like, how you not how you gassing up two girls kissing, but two guys kissing, you're like, oh, get that gay stuff away from me. Like, right? I'm saying. I'm just saying. I feel like, I don't know, guys low-key be wanting to do that stuff, and they just mad that other men could live free. I don't know. And people said that maybe Boosie's mad that a gay man is more popular than him. Okay, cool. Boosie gave me Wipe Me Down. Thank you. That's a Greek life anthem. Thanks. Gave me some strolls. But you don't have no other, like, accolades. It's not like you're on the same level as Lil Nas X, popularity-wise and success-wise. So it could be that. I don't know. I really don't get it. I don't get why he was so mad. Like, it's just Lil Nas X didn't say anything crazy. Like, he was just making jokes, and everybody knows he's a jokester. So I don't know. You don't have no thoughts? Alex.
No.
Okay. You don't think he don't think it's suspicious?
Oh,
I'm asking you from a man's perspective, because I don't know.
No, I don't. I already said that.
Then why do you think he's so angry about that? Why was it when it was with his son? He's always, oh, my sons. I know my sons are gay. And the whole him making his son literally have like sexual interactions with older women.
I can't answer that without being deleted from the internet, so I'm gonna skip this topic. We can talk about it offline if you really care about my opinion.
I don't know. I feel like my strongest argument is the fact that two girls kissing is praise, but two men kissing is freaking out. This just makes you wonder, Makes you wonder. I can't even use an excuse of how he was raised because people gotta stop using how they were raised as an excuse to how they are in the world because you are self aware of your flaws and your toxic traits. It's just like I don't know. But I guess we can move on since you don't want to talk about it. Wait, what is this? Oh yeah, see that's what some of my topics are confusing me because I wrote them like so long ago. But I was talking about how I wrote how Chloe Bailey made a tweet about how she actually wants a man that doesn't pick up the phone because she said, or all the time, she said doesn't pick up the phone all the time because she said if you don't pick up your phone, then that is a sign that you're a busy man, and she wants a man that actually has a schedule and things to do. And I just thought that was a little weird because I feel like, first of all, I think the whole pinning rules, or don't you think this is too many rules that people are making? Cause now girls are gonna be like, I feel like I don't know. I'm speaking from a girl's perspective. I feel like girls do too much because it's like I feel like that's why I wrote this down because I want to talk about how I think I don't really know if men do this. 'Cause I don't really see it perpetuated as much on social media, but I feel like girls' expectations are almost like borderline like controlling. It's like they want to build a man, you know, type of thing. Like it's like, all right, I want a man that he better pick up the phone when I'm calling, but I don't want him to pick up all the time because he got to be busy. Like I'm just like, oh my god, that just sounds like chaotic, right? Like, don't you think that's like psycho? Because girls will say that, like, oh, Chloe Bailey said if you pick up the phone, you a bum. You a bum. You pick up the phone all the time, but then in another breath, it's like, well, what you doing? Why you not picking up the phone? He must be doing something. If he don't pick up the phone when you call, drop him, sis. But then if he picks up every time, he's a bum because he must not be working, right? Like it's just like it just makes my head hurt. So I don't know. From a man's perspective, I don't know if he been with me for a while, but do you think like all these social media rules that people are putting out is just like getting kind of too much? Like, do you think people are too specific with what they want and they're not realistic, knowing that we're all humans, we're all flawed, and not everybody's gonna be 100% what you want them to be? Like, you're not gonna find that person 100%, and like that people are kind of getting obsessive about what they want. Like they're literally contradicting themselves with their own wants. I don't know.
No, I think people are allowed to have whatever preferences they want. The only issue for me is people look at other people's preferences and then they make those preferences their
That's
own.
that's more so what I mean. Yeah, like that's what I was talking about social media because like people see all these different they're being fed all these different things. So in one tweet they're being fed that a man should always pick up when you answer. In another tweet they're getting being fed by like people like Chloe, he shouldn't always answer because he should be busy. So now somebody who's weak minded, who doesn't have a mind of their own, is taking both of those thoughts. And in their mind, a man should be answering every time I call, but then again, he shouldn't sometimes because he should be busy. But then now, if he doesn't answer the phone and he's actually busy working, now you're mad because the other tweet told you should be mad. You know, that's just chaotic. And I feel like just I feel like people overthink stuff. I feel like people go into relationships with all these preconceived notions based off their prior experiences or what people's experiences are online, and they're just never gonna be happy. You know, because they're gonna think every little thing that they're doing is something that they saw on Twitter or something that they experienced themselves, and it's just like chill. You know, just relax. Just go through the motions of a relationship and know that sometimes things may happen. Bad things may happen. Cheating may happen. This may happen. Other stuff. And just let it come to you as it comes. You know, I think people just overthink this whole relationship stuff. Like I said, you can have your preferences. That's fine. But I feel like people just overthink it based off what they're seeing online, right? So, I don't know. I feel bad for the men out there because I feel like they are held to a much higher standard than women are. Would you agree or do you think no? From a man's perspective, do you think men are held to a higher standard?
No, I just think all that stuff is fake because women just tweet whatever and
True.
they don't even follow up on it
True, because
because
that's
nobody's
why.
doing that.
Yeah, that's why to bring up BK Tidal Wave, the girl who just died today. Someone actually pulled up one of her old videos where she was actually defending Nikki, and I was like, this is actually really trying to think about it. You know how everybody was coming at Nikki for her husband because he's like a convict and he has all that stuff, you know. But then the girl who in one of her lives, she's like, "How you guys all coming at Nikki, but you guys are literally talking to men in prison? You have a pen pal, like and you want a pen pal, like that is true, right? There's so many women that literally will lay up with convicts all the time, but they was on Instant talking about Nikki. It's like, isn't it the man you talking to that you messing with? Been in jail like 4 times, you know? Like it is like you said, it's like it's funny because all these people that you see that write about what their standards are, this, and you see the type of people they end up with, or the type of people that they lay and allow into their bodies is not anything that they talk about on Twitter, you know. So that is funny. That is a good point. That a lot of times those girls never end up anyway with all these list of high demands that they want. And my thing, there's a difference between having, like I said, high standards and wanting certain things and wanting certain things to match your what you give and what you provide and what you are. That's one thing. But there's another thing when you're just contradicting yourself. Like, you have to answer the phone, but then you shouldn't answer your phone because you should be at work or you should be busy. But then if you don't answer me, you're cheating. It's just like, whoa. So I don't know. I think sometimes I'm scared. I feel like we talked about this before. But I'm just scared of the future because social media really got like people in a headlock, in my opinion, right? Like, they just, I don't know. The weak won't survive, in my opinion. The weak-minded are just, I'm worried for them. But yeah, do you have anything else on that subject?
I don't.
You need to start giving me a topic so you don't be talking about anything that I want to talk about. You need to start giving me some topic. Next, we can talk about Alex Baldwin.
Alex, right?
Oh, I don't care. What was his name? Alec. Somebody had conspiracy theory today about him. They said that since he always improvised Trump on SNL, that somebody set
him up with the real gun.
Yeah. Do you think that's valid, or do you think that's just like a funny, like, people are crazy?
People are crazy.
Like that. I think the person who actually made the tweet was the one who played Aunt Viv on the Cosby Show. I think she's the one who made the initial tweet.
On the Cosby Show, right?
Oh, sorry. What's that show called?
Anyway.
Fresh Prince. But yeah, the Alec Baldwin situation. This is kind of old. It was like 2 weeks ago, but yeah, I just thought that was crazy, and I wouldn't be able to live life knowing I killed somebody. Right? If you're not a killer. That's a little traumatizing. Like, you really gotta live every single day knowing that you took somebody from this world. But I don't know. I don't think it was his fault. Everybody's blaming him, but at the end of the day, who was assigned to the props is their fault. Whoever gave him that gun is their fault. Like, whoever's job that was to make sure the gun was empty is their fault. And I think in 2021, it's kind of crazy that this type of stuff could happen on a movie set. Like, you shouldn't be dying for a movie. Like, that's sick. Mm-hmm. So, sad situation. But I don't know. If I was him, I don't know what I would do. I don't know how I would even finish that. Like, I feel like they're going to have to finish it because they put so much money already into it. But it is a little suspicious that there was, like, walkouts, like, the same day of the shooting because of unsafe set, like, conditions. And people having problems, like, saying that something like this happened on the same set, like, something similar, almost accidental, like, shooting again. So that's kind of scary. That, like, the warning signs were there and it still happened. You are getting on my nerves today. Yeah. You have nothing to say about that?
Yeah, rest in peace.
You get my nerves. I really only have 2 other topics. You need to, if you're gonna have to do a little meet me halfway about topics you want to talk about. The only other thing I have is, should you be super transparent on social media so people know you and your life isn't perfect? Because I feel like I saw something recently where I feel like they put a lot of pressure on people to show their flaws, to show, like, that they're not perfect, to make others kind of realize that not everybody's perfect. But I feel like at the same time, that's not nobody's job to, like, show you their flaws, Like, for me, for example, like, when I announced that I got my master's, I'm not obligated to show everybody the journey of what led to me getting that master's. I feel like it should be obvious that since only 9% of people in America have a master's, that it wasn't an easy journey. Like, it should be obvious. Like, I shouldn't have to show people me literally leaving Montclair at 9:40 at night, knowing I had work the next day, knowing I had to drive an hour and a half home, literally screaming like about that fact. I worked an 8-hour shift and then had to go to class and then not getting home till 11 o'clock. I shouldn't have to show me crying on the camera, me stressed out. I shouldn't have to show those things for it to be obvious that a lot of hard work and dedication went into it. So I feel like it's not my fault that people saw that. Like, oh, Mal got her master's, she like so effortlessly. Her life must just be so great. Like, no, that was hard work. Like I feel like people were kind of will judge you for not showing that side. Like, oh, you should let people see that side because they should know that it's not easy. Like, no, why do I have to do that? So I feel like I hate that people put that pressure on you because I feel like it's not your job to have to show your L's. It's not your job to have to show social media. This is how I look without makeup. So you know that without makeup, I'm not always dolled up every day. Like, I don't know how to show you that. Like, my social media should be my highlight reel of what I want you to see. You know, like, why am I obligated to show my most transparent side just for you to feel better about yourself that my life isn't perfect, right? Don't you feel that way? Like, that people kind of ask too much out of like even celebrities are like, oh, you're a role model, you're a celebrity, like that you should be showing some of those things, you know.
I don't even know. Like, social media is such an interesting thing. I don't know. I try to exist as much as possible in the real world. So all that, whatever people are saying, I don't even really like entertaining a lot of conversations like that on social media because it's like, for what? Like, what are we really talking about here?
I think people are just talking about the fact that, like, you know, when we were kids, our idols were celebrities, our idols were movie stars, like the people that we looked up to. And now people that we look up to are influencers or like our, other people that we might have grown up with that are doing big things.
And we got to kill the word influencer, but I can't think of a better word, but keep going.
Well, not everybody's an influencer who's famous. But a lot of people do have influence. You think about this girl who made that salmon rice thing. I looked online, so much things are sold out because of her. Like, and yeah, 33. Her first video got 71 million views. That is an influence. Like, a lot of people made that recipe. Like, that was a whole viral trend. So it still is like you are influencing people. Everybody doing the labels, like, you know, the little bins that we have with our food. There's a whole nother people who are doing the things like putting their stuff in from the Container Store, like with these specific labels. I see everybody with the same labels from Etsy. So if one person did influence them, so it word makes sense. But I know what you mean, because it's kind of like you can't call everybody who posts pictures online an influencer who got 100,000 followers. But yeah, like that's their point that they're making. It's like now, like, you know, those are the people now that kids are looking up to. Like, it's so easy accessible too. Like, they just turn on their phone, they see people, and they're like, oh my god, this girl, oh, her skin's so flawless, her body's so nice. Like, in their minds, a lot of these like people who are like, you know, insecure or just naive think that these people look like this all the time and are, you know, are perfect. And now people are saying that those same people, it's their job, it's their duty to also show their flaws. And as everyday people should be showing our flaws so people know that our lives aren't perfect. And I just feel like, who are you to tell somebody to do that? Like, I feel like if you have an audience, you didn't ask for that audience, you know? Nobody asks to be famous when they get the followers, you know? So why do you have to tell somebody that they should be more personal when they might not want to? Their social media is just a highlight reel, you know? It's just to be social, it's just to interact with people. They're not as don't have to be as privy to information that you want to show your partner, right? Like, if I want to tell you my flaws, why do I have to tell the people on my Instagram? Like, why do they all have to know my flaws if I just want to tell you them, you know? And I feel like people are making it seem like you should show them online. It's like, why? To make you feel better about yourself?
Is this a real conversation?
This is a real conversation about whether you should or not. And it's like, what do you want me to do? Cry in the camera? Be like, oh my god, today was a rough day at class.
I was about to say I can't wait till I'm off this earth, but no, I was gonna.
That sounds wild.
That would have been that would have been a wild statement.
No, but it's like a real thing. But
no.
the thing that's funny is like people say that, but when we looked up to our celebrities, we didn't see.
You saw way less.
Yeah, way less than we see now.
Talk about a highlight reel. And
I feel like as a parent, like everything starts in the home. As a parent, you should tell your kids that what they see is not 100% real. It's like, okay, you see, like, that girl's pretty, and I'm sure she is pretty in real life, but just know that, like, she might not always look like this. Like, why do you have to show that for like, it's the whole same thing with don't let your kids listen to WAP, or like WAP is bad because you should be your idol for the kids, whatever. It's like, no, if you don't want your kids to listen to that, then that's your job as a parent to try to make sure they're not listening to that, you know? Like people always put so much pressure on everybody else to like cater to them. You know, it's always like you should show that your life's not perfect. You know, so these kids understand that it's not perfect. No, you as a parent should tell your kids that life's not perfect. Like people have kids and don't know how to be a parent, and then they want everybody else to do their job. Like no, when you decide to lay up and have a kid, you know that you are now responsible to teach that person everything that you want them or think that they should know. Like no one else is obligated to do that. I don't have to post how I look without makeup and how I look when I'm bloated for your kids to have confidence. Like teach your kid confidence, you know? My mom taught me confidence. People used to make fun of me about being skinny all the time. My mom literally used to tell me every day, don't you worry, I was skinny too and kids picked on me. And look how all the kids that picked on me look and look how I look now. I was like, you're right. Look, and the same thing happened. Now that I'm older, everybody who used to pick on me for being skinny all look crazy right now. And if I didn't have confidence, I could have easily been down them. I could have easily been like so hurt by it, you know? But my mom gave me that confidence. Like you, as a parent, you give your kids that confidence. Don't try to put the pressure on other people online to help your kid feel better, you know, about what their flaws. Like that's just my opinion. I feel like it's nobody's obligation because social media is not even real. It's not real. Nobody has to have social media. And like you're more private on social media, you know? So it's basically people are telling you somebody like you has to be more open. Like you can't post your highlights in your life because people feel like, oh, well, how'd you get there? It's like, I don't have to tell you that, right? Like, just because I want you to see this and I'm proud of it doesn't mean I have to show you what it took to get there, you know?
I also don't even show anything outside I leave, to be honest with you.
No, but like just like little stuff. Like if you show yourself like a picture of you at work and people want to know, oh, what job did you got? How'd you get the job? This. It's like, why do I have to tell you all that? Like, there are people on social media that will tell you, but why do I have to tell you? Why do I have to be obligated to tell you that?
I really do hate being here sometimes.
No, because it's crazy. Like, it's crazy. A lot of people's brains are just, I don't know, it must be wired weird because everybody it's just.
But only because
too many rules in life.
You'll do that, and a girl will show herself without makeup on, and then you'll get, for that 500 people that felt self-conscious, you'll get 20,000 people that will tell her that she's ugly because she doesn't have makeup on. Yeah. So you can't win anything.
You can't win.
So just do whatever makes you happy. Yeah,
and that's really like how I feel. I'm like, social media, there's no rules to how you should be online. There's none. If you want to be super transparent, then yeah, that's cool. Then you be that. Like, if you want to be that type of person, to be that. For me personally, I'm like half and half. Like, if you want to get transparent me, follow me on Twitter. Because that's where I like rant. You know, you see the day-to-day stream of consciousness on Twitter for me, right? Like, you see the days I'm happy and I'm chilling. You see the days that I might be going through something. You see the days that I'm mad. Like, today I posted how I got bleach on my Rick Owens. Like, I could have easily covered that up and nobody would have never knew. But I wanted to show that. So it was funny. I'm like, okay, cool. I got bleach on my shoe. I could be mad right now and upset, but I'm just going to post about it and just post it. Like, that's just what the decision I made today to do. On Instagram, you kind of do get the more, here's the good times of my life. Here's when I have my makeup done. Here's when I got my hair done. Here's when my fits are fire. Here's my nice pics. You might not get a no makeup selfie on my page. So that's not what I want on my page. You might get it on my story highlights. Because, you know, I don't think I'm ugly without makeup, but that's just not what I want on my page. That's just what the story I want, what the look I want on my page is a certain look. And if you want to see me transparent, either link me in real life or go to Twitter. So I feel like, I don't know, it's just weird that they like, people have too many rules about things. And like, life becomes so boring when you just, well, not even boring, but just like, stressful when there's a rule for everything, right? Like now you had to think, ooh, okay, I'm crying, I'm having a breakup. Should I record me crying right now so people feel like I'm more transparent? Like that's psycho, right? Like I'm sure people feel like that, especially people who actually have a following, who the pressure is on. Especially like on TikTok. Like all these young kids on TikTok, like age 15 to like 19. It's like their fan base are giving them pressure to do stuff like that. So now they feel like they have to do that, you know? Now they feel like they have to show them crying for people to understand that they're not perfect. And then they do post their crying, and now all of a sudden they're getting sympathy. Like Charli D'Amelio, they had their Hulu show, and people seeing how they are behind the scenes, like with all the bullying that they get. People all of a sudden like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We should stop the bullying comments. Like you should know to stop bullying somebody. They don't have to show you that they're crying for you to stop bullying them, you know? Like it's just crazy. It is a crazy world, like you said.
You should also not cry from being bullied.
Well, you can't tell someone that though.
Yeah. okay.
Yeah, you can. I mean, no, you can't. Cause did you ever get bullied? Like you had your, no, but you had like the situation with like your shoes and stuff. You said, but it was nothing severe. And neither was me. Even with me being skinny, the bullying wasn't severe. Cause for some reason people knew not to say nothing to my face. First of all, no one said nothing to my face. Only one person said something to my face, and it was my crush in middle school. And I told you about that story. I wore my little top Converses, and I was hyped about. And he said, "Your feet are huge compared to your legs." And never wore those shoes again. Other than that, nobody said nothing to my face. But yeah, you can't tell somebody though who was severely bullied. Like how? Cause this girl though, you gotta think about it. You have 100 million followers. You can't even fathom 100 million followers. You don't know what that's like having thousands of comments and someone saying something mean about you. Like I feel like we could imagine what we would do in those situations, but I feel like when you're actually there, especially when you're 15, 16. Like, I can't say that 15, 16-year-old me would have handled that because sometimes I look at my old tweets from when I was 15 to 16 and I don't even recognize who I was. So my brain back then, your brain's not even fully developed at that age. I can't say that I would be like, oh, these people are just hating because I'm young and cute and have money. Like, I don't know if that would be my mindset if thousands of people were saying crazy stuff about me.
What's funny is when I had all those followers on Twitter, that's exactly what happened. It was just funny to me, especially because back then, there was that Ask FM thing, and then so for anybody that
Ask
doesn't,
FM is vicious.
nobody knows this. I was gonna say if anybody doesn't know, but basically, and before the whole social media fame thing was a thing, I had like a Twitter account where basically me and a bunch of other people that wanted to grow Twitter accounts would just support each other. So we basically would build followings and then retweet each other. So somebody posted a tweet and then we
Sorry to
retweet
interrupt,
it.
but it's crazy. That was a huge wave. That was a huge time period. Now that I think about it, don't look at me like that. No, I'm saying it's crazy. That just brought me back. Cause I remember that everybody would have it would be the same page that would retweet each other.
Yeah.
So that's what you was in one of those. I actually never knew that.
So long story short, I basically at my peak, I ended up with 100,000 followers on Twitter. Cool. So yeah, to some degree, I did experience that because I was 15, 16. And I stopped around 18-ish, sold the accounts off, whatever. So I did experience it to a certain degree, especially because back then I was wild. I would say real wild stuff, like crazy.
I wish I knew you during that time. I kind of got you at the tail end.
Yeah, it was nasty. I would say like whatever was on my immature mind, like talking about like
girls.
No, like I would be like, I pray to God I never have an ugly kid. Oh. Like I would say like,
tweet those
yeah, I used to just tweet I would just tweet like whatever, and people was like, people would reply back.
Well, so you ugly?
Yeah, it was kind of, like not being bullied, but it was kind of like in response to me being like the way I was. But some of the stuff was people coming at me, like they would go and Ask FM thing and be like, you think you're hot because you got this many followers, like blah blah blah, like death threats, all that kind of stuff. Like I've dealt with all that. I'm not saying I would ever know what that's like.
But also, you're a guy though. It might be different. You're a guy.
I just don't care. I used to laugh at that stuff because even like, especially, this is how you know I didn't give a fuck back then. Is that Ask FM? Those questions were private until you answered them, and you also didn't.
You could see who they were.
Like you could what I mean by that is that somebody could ask you a question,
and you can't. They wouldn't be able to tell. They wouldn't even be able to see.
Yeah, nobody would be able to see that.
If you didn't answer it.
If I didn't answer it. But I used to answer them all. And you also, if you answered them, because Ask FM was its own individual social media, you didn't have to take those questions and put them on Twitter. But I would do that anyway because I thought it was funny. So I really didn't give a fuck. It used to be great.
I think I was the only person that didn't have that.
People used to attack me, call me gay. Like they would talk about my lips.
Your lips? What about your lips?
I don't know. But that's the point. Like people were gonna talk about anything and it just makes it hilarious. So when I sound so like dead set in my thoughts, like I've been like this forever. I've been like this forever. Yeah, again, I'm not a woman and I don't know what that would feel like having 100 million followers.
Yeah, but some people are just.
To some degree, I do know, and I would love it. I would love nothing more than to have somebody attack me all day because I just would find it funny.
Because the funny thing is, when you know people are attacking you, 9 times out of 10 is because they're hating. Yeah. And 9 times out of 10, they don't have a real profile picture. Like even the people who I was fighting with my little 200 followers on Twitter, all the people who were mad about me posting Amira's where she, like her job title, It was all people with no profile picture. The people that were trying to say something about our relationship and how long we've been together. Like it's always people who are just insecure. They don't got nothing to go for themselves. Like that's the one thing I learned too. Like that's why I would kind of laugh at it too. You know, like every time all this cancel stuff happens, everybody who's saying it is always like they're just happy to see you fall. You know, because they're miserable. Like most people who do say something are miserable. That's what I noticed.
That's why I don't trust Google reviews. I don't trust Yelp reviews because the only people that comment on that stuff is always something negative.
Yeah, I can say but I can admit, like you saw my Google reviews. I just showed you them. Only time I ever said something was usually negative. I'm trying to become more of like, all right, if I really like a place, I will say how I love it. I want to try to do more of that too. But you see, from my perspective, all the reviews I ever left on Google reviews were negative.
I hate everybody basically. Like I don't like interacting with anybody. So like, you know, that's just kind of it. I'm kind of here just to be happy, do things I want to do, live in real life. I don't live on the internet. Make as much money as I can, support my family as much as I can, people I care about as much as I can, and anybody else that has anything counter that, then, you know, it's what it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm trying to get off that incident too, but the only reason why I'm still so like pressed to be on it is because it really could lead to like a bag. Like you saw that cabbie lame guy. You know, he just started posting on TikTok, I think like this year. I think he literally just started his TikTok this year. Like it might have been, I think people were saying it was might have been May or June. I think it was before that though. I think I've seen stuff before that. But it was definitely this year. And look at him now, 117 million followers and a Facebook ad. Like, or meta ad, I guess you call meta.
What's even funnier about that?
But that's crazy. And he hasn't talked. I haven't heard his voice once. But I'm just saying, like, imagine he never posted. Like you don't know what you leaving off the table. And I feel like you should just put your hands in everything. And it doesn't matter how young or old you are too. Like Tabitha Brown, she's in her 50s, I think. Just started blowing up, and like, you know, she lived her whole life working a regular job until her 50s. Like the McClure twins, even though the parents kind of, what's the word when you exploit? That's the word. The parents kind of exploited the kids for fame, but you know, it got them a house, new cars, money, like millions. You know.
What's funny about that too, and I'm gonna sound psycho, and I'm sure nobody would believe me when I say this. Funny enough, even if I knew that I would make X amount of money off of doing something, like if somebody told me that I would make $10 million trolling people on the internet, I still wouldn't do it.
Well, I wouldn't do that either. Cause I'm not.
Or just whatever it is. It's just an example.
6ix9ine for money.
Or like 5 million. If I would make 5 million from doing whatever it is, I'm still of the principles that I still wouldn't do it necessarily.
But I will say
because you don't need to sell personality. That's not the only thing in the world. Like
I know that's not what I'm saying.
I didn't say that's what you said.
No, but like anything like that girl. What's her name? Anok Yai. She literally became a model just by going to Howard and having a picture posted online. You became a high fashion top model, like a supermodel, just because somebody posted a picture of you online on Instagram. Like that just shows like the power of that. Like you for music. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it could lead to anything. Getting yourself out there just lead to anything. Like you have more chances of people knowing who you are and finding out who you are and finding out about your music or your fashion, whatever. Like for me, I like posting my picture on Instagram, but you never know. Somebody might see me and say, okay, you know, her style is cool, but I would love to see her in my brand. Like so a big streetwear brand could see me and be like, okay, she would be a perfect fit for our clothing company, just based off how I see how she dresses and like I like how streetwear looks on her. So that's what for me. I like, you know, if anything were to happen from social media, I would hope it's something fashion related or something like. So you know, it could be for anything. Like I'm not saying like personality wise and you being famous for like dancing on TikTok, but I'm just saying like anything you post could just lead to life changing money and like you could literally live the dream. You don't have to work at 9 to 5 anymore and do the things that you actually love. You know. And I feel you cut that chance by not posting on social media. You know, and some people don't care. There's a lot of people out there who don't even have social media. Like they'll have like maybe Facebook and they just don't care. They cut that loss and they feel like they could do it the old fashioned way and that's fine. But I said for me personally, I just the whole what's that? I always used to saying the whole you miss the shots you don't take saying. I'm just gonna try to fill every bucket. I'm gonna put my face out there on every app. And if somebody comes across it, and they might come across it. If not, I had a good time posting, arguing, and interacting with people online. Yeah, like even TikTok. Like I posted it for fun. I actually wasn't even like even pressed to go viral or anything on TikTok. I just post for fun. You know, I do the hashtag just in case. And I think I'm at 617 followers, and that was just organic. Like I don't even really follow people. I only follow people who follow me first. But a lot of that was organic, and I'm just like, wow, that's crazy. TikTok could get to the point where I could surpass my Instagram. I could surpass my old Twitter following just by simply posting videos on this new app. So I just, think that's interesting. Cause so it seems like it's so much easier to grow a following on TikTok than any other place. So yeah, that was a little social media rant. But I think there's pros and cons to social media. But the cons is obviously what I was just talking about, the whole rules and people just being crazy. But it's interesting because you were like completely like two spectrum. So like you said, you went from having all those followers to now like hating it. But do you feel like that's partially one of the reasons why you hate it? Like, do you feel like you liked it more like when you were like actually like interactive with everybody and like?
No, I think social media is stupid. I get the point of it, but it's like the same reason why all the people that created this stuff end up leaving the companies anyway. It's because it becomes something that they didn't want it to.
Yeah, so you think social media would have become stupid, not what is the basis of it.
Yeah, the basis of it makes sense, but
yeah,
now it's stupid.
But it's only it's only stupid in certain areas. So like you could still find your niche. Like you said, you still choose who to follow. You still choose the content you see. Like for a lot of people, social media is like a really good place where they get like a lot of good insight and like there's a lot of good conversation. Like how you said on Twitter, there's a whole business portion. There's whole business threads, groups. But even Reddit, like Reddit is considered a social media. And I actually like Reddit. I feel like Reddit is like the least toxic of all apps. Like it's so specific that you can find exactly what you want to talk about.
You know what my thing is? My real thing about it is that money is the root of everyone's problems. Mm-hmm. And I feel like for me, there's two ways there's the two ways of thinking. There's the people that use social media as a way to try to get money and then use that to solve their problems. And I'm the way of thinking that if I had money and no social media, then that's I don't care. Like if I had money or wealth and didn't have social media, I wouldn't even miss or think of social media ever. Like it wouldn't even be a thought in my mind. So that's kind of where my mind is at, is that realistically, like if you take any investor, for example, and not even somebody necessarily like we look at Buffett or like any investor like that. If you look at, who can I think of? God, I actually prefer not to say anybody off the top of my head. But if you take an investor and they've amassed $50 million in wealth, like most of those houses out in California, nobody knows who those people are, but those houses are OD expensive. Realistically, if that person has $50 million, what else do they have to want for? Like, and of course, this is not assuming that this is assuming that their family has their health and all those other things that, actual real life things that matter. But assuming all those things are okay and they have the money and they don't have social media, that's what I prefer, because like I don't even enjoy it. Like the conversations that come from it, like a lot of the stuff that we even discuss that is being discussed on Twitter, like that makes it whack.
But there are fun sides of it, and I feel like a lot of those really rich people.
But for the most part, isn't.
There still are a lot of those really rich people are still on social media for the fun side of it. They like to be social with their friends and see what they're doing.
But
keep up with their friends.
But who are we talking about? Because I'm talking about a different class of people.
Well, the people who are that rich are really old usually and don't even use it. No, but I'm afraid the younger people are probably on it.
Because most of the billionaires nowadays are young.
Yeah. But you could say the same for like people like, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess they need social media.
Because we look at when we think of rich and wealth, everybody's mind immediately goes to people that are entertainers. But my mind doesn't necessarily go there.
Yeah, but would you know those people are on Twitter? Have you checked to see if any of those wealthy people that are young are on social media?
No, they probably are.
Like I get what you're saying. Like those people are not. They're usually not engaging in those conversations, which they usually wouldn't, because that's damaging of their image and their brand. So that might not even be by choice. I actually wouldn't be surprised if a lot of rich people and a lot of famous and rich people have burner accounts so they can actually interact with these rich people, and not worry about their personal brand. Because I feel like people, at the end of the day, you can't take away, like I said, you could be super rich, but you can't take away human nature. And a lot of people like the mess. A lot of people like the drama. A lot of people like to argue. A lot of people people look for stuff to debate about online. Like, you know how like people were arguing with me about what I was saying. There's people who actually look for that. Like when I was arguing with all those people on Twitter, my freaking blood pressure was up. I felt anxious. I was just upset. But some people like that. Some people like to argue and they look for that argument. No matter how rich and successful they are, they can be the happiest and the most successful person ever, but still will go to social media. But I get what you're saying. Like you personally would do that. Because there are other people who are literally like you who stay off of it. Like you can even say Kanye is kind of like you because he doesn't really use social media. Like he'll have his rants, you know, but then he'll disappear. And you see he has nothing to really prove. He could have easily been on here when Donda dropped and been tweeting and posting.
You ever realize you never hear Kanye ever talk about money and shit?
Yeah, I mean the only time he talked about his money was he talked about his music though.
But rarely. Most of his music is not like that. One of his biggest songs, Can't Tell Me Nothing, is Wait Till I Get My Money Right. And that's after he was already rich. But you don't really see it.
And I mean he said that too. Remember he's in that Ye versus the People, he said he was making fun of people saying, "Oh, would you guys like me if I talked about these things, like how much money I got, and like all that?" But yeah,
it's a vibe. You get your ranch, and
I mean, yeah. The only time he talks about money is like when it's bad, like when he was in debt. Like he kind of was flexing on himself a little bit, like I'm a billionaire, like you know, and he, rightfully so. But like you said, he could easily talk shit. Ooh, I didn't mean to curse. Well, we could curse, but he easily like go crazy and pop off if he wanted to.
Because realistically, right, you have 50 million with no social media, and then 50 million with social media. It's like.
Yeah, but some people, I get it. Some people want to display that. Some people want to display the luxurious lifestyle. And that's why I'm like devil's advocate because that stuff does work. Like sometimes people see that stuff and that's the motivation they need to be rich, you know? Like this one guy, that Choice guy, he was even saying that like he might not even be where he's at in life without some people, without him seeing other people post certain stuff.
But I don't care. I wouldn't care about motivating people really, to be honest.
True, because it's like, who are they? Like, that's not my job.
And I would be there to teach people if people want to learn something, but I'm not going to sit there and flaunt wealth and riches and material with the hopes of, like, if that's your motivation for doing anything, then that's the wrong reason for doing anything.
I would do it in a way where it was so kind of like a subtle flex. Because I feel like the biggest reason why people don't do that, obviously, is because of security. Like, that's like main number one. But I would do it so subtle. Like, imagine like, we was on a private jet, right? I would just post like the window so people would know it's a private jet window, like the view. And then I say, I want to be like on a PJ. Like, you know, some people do the most. Like, I want a private jet. Like, I would just do like subtle stuff and make my thing so aesthetically like pleasing. But I don't know if I would just leave social media just because I'm rich. I think you had to be a type of person that literally just didn't care about social media ever to be that type of person when you're rich. Like, I feel like if you love social media and became rich, it's not like the love of social media will go away. But like, that's why I get what you mean. Like, somebody like you getting to that point, you would still be you.
Because you can see, like, I don't even have money now. I'm not even on it now. Like, my Twitter, like, I've deleted every tweet basically I've ever tweeted. My Instagram, I've archived basically every post over the past, like, because before the archiving thing, I would just end up deleting the pictures. So that's why
But why do you do that? You never actually explained to me why you do that.
Why I archive or delete pictures? Yeah,
because I feel like your perspective and your explanation would be the same reason why people do. Because I actually never understood why people do that. Like,
so the reason why I do it is because Instagram for me is, so the way I'm sort of operating is I don't even like social media at all. I don't really like tweeting my thoughts. I've been like this with Twitter. I've always been like this. People don't allow you to grow, and people will criticize things that you've done in your past. As you can see, people will dig up all your tweets from something that you tweeted 15 years ago. People don't allow you to grow, and I don't like the idea of that. I think a lot of my opinions that I used to tweet, or like I was saying before, like the wild stuff I used to tweet, if somebody went back and read that now, they would think that that's who I am today. So for
that's
Twitter,
a good point too, because actually I'll show you when we're off camera. But I tweeted something. I don't think I think someone hacked me, but there was a tweet I saw 10 years ago that was really crazy. I was like, whoa! I would delete that if I had my old Twitter access. So, yeah. So you see people, like you said, people get canceled all the time when they dig up stuff. That's
how it started with Twitter, where I would tweet something and then an hour later I would delete it. Like in a lot of ways, Twitter was for me back in the day. I would just tweet whatever I was thinking at any point, whether it was logical or not. And that's not who I am today. If I'm saying something, it means I meticulously thought about it did my research.
Like,
I
you
don't
didn't
like
just
sounding
tweet.
ignorant. I didn't just tweet because that's what people think. They have an app and they just put their thoughts out there. And then I'm not one of those people because those people sound stupid to me.
And usually those people end up deleting the tweet some people
When
don't,
they're wrong.
Some people don't, when they're wrong. Sorry, that's bad. When they're wrong, they still want to delete it out of pride.
Yeah. So that's how it started with me for Twitter. And then for Instagram, it's kind of something similar where I felt like Instagram and certain fashion people that I looked up to, I definitely don't look up to those people anymore.
Like your style changes.
Yeah, I chased whatever everybody else was doing. And a lot of my Instagram was reflective of that until like last year or so, where I kind of started finding my own style. Because what I used to do is what a lot of people do and be like, oh, this person wore this specific t-shirt. Let me go get this specific t-shirt with this specific shoes and these jeans. And I was doing that for a very long time. Like even in high school, like I would do it on a lower scale where I would be like, oh, I saw somebody in my high school wear this, or somebody in my high school had these specific speakers.
I used to be obsessive like that too. Like this girl had this necklace I wanted so bad, and I looked everywhere for it and never found it, but I found something similar.
Yeah, so I was that person. Like even like and there's nothing wrong with it necessarily, but it's just not who I am today. So I want to have my social media, if I am to use it, to reflect my thoughts today, and how I feel like I'm gonna be in the future. I'm gonna continue to grow, but I don't think that I'm ever gonna be in the immature space that I found myself in previously, where I'm chasing validation through material and trying to impress people. And I'm just not really in that mindset anymore. So I want my social media to reflect that, where I'm not putting ignorant opinions on Twitter, and then I'm not buying things and posting them on Instagram to try to impress anybody. And also fashion wise on Instagram, the reason why I archive a lot of my pictures is because fashion wise, things changed. I'm not wearing ripped jeans anymore. Like I'm not wearing
that Kanye era
holes in my pants. Like I'm not
army boots.
Yeah, not wearing that anymore. So
but then so you just don't want people seeing you wear that stuff no more.
Yeah, like, and I understand that it tells a story.
Yeah, and that's how my thing is. Like you see, I have 1,000 pictures on my Instagram because I want people to see the growth.
But I don't want to tell a story from.
I get it though, because like I know like a lot of people, their explanation is that like when people come to their page, they want them to know how they are now. Like it's a highlight reel. Like how I was saying how before, like you're not obligated to show your old pictures. So you want people to see how you are now. If they were to meet you now, this is how I look now. This is how I dress now.
I wouldn't want anybody to come to my page, see me in a Yeezus shirt, and think XYZ about whatever it is.
He's a cornball.
Whatever it is.
It was on that wave. Yeah, like even me wearing the camo pants. Remember the orange camo pants? People might say that like, oh, she a cornball. She hopped on that wave.
Because that's how so much of my Instagram was.
I mean, that's what everybody was during that time, though. Everybody was kind of cringe.
But also, it's like my increase in fashion knowledge is a big thing, because I might have worn. So, for example, Kanye would be wearing XYZ bomber, and I go to Target and find a similar style XYZ bomber that's whack to me, and I'm not in that same mindset. You'd rather go buy that
specific one because you know now that's not about the look, but it's also about the quality, the feel.
Who created the style, basically, who popularized it, like who really did it first.
Yeah, instead of just jumping on a wave.
So I want my style to also reflect that. So it's basically just because I don't want my past mindset of me being in an immature place, being ignorant, being unknowledgeable. I don't want that to continue to be displayed on the internet, because that's definitely not who I am at this point.
And you know how people are, like people will see something and think they know you, or know something about you just based on that.
For example, I'm actually, well, it's not like I'm gonna put it in the camera, but for example, I did this shoot with one of my friends where I was wearing like a white hoodie with like a white under layer shirt, so it's sticking out the bottom of the hoodie. During that era, I had some blue ripped jeans on, and then some Yeezys, and then I was holding a pair of all white Ultra Boost in my hand. Like, that's nasty. Like, I would never want somebody to come to my page, see that, and then try to make assumptions about me, because then they'll see that picture.
You're way different.
I would never do that now. I would never post, hey guys, I just bought this. Like, that's whack to me.
Yeah, for you.
For my personal brand. I know that works for other people. Like, hey guys, this is an unboxing haul. This is a try-on haul. Whatever. Which I'm not opposed to either, because eventually when I get my own like perfect closet, I probably would do a walkthrough of my archive museum of things that I have, but not so much like, oh, this is how much this costs or like anything like that.
And not being hype beastie too. The whole Ultra Boost thing, that was obviously an era.
Yeah, and I was chasing hype. Like I was literally dressing like somebody else, being a clone, and then holding a shoe like, ooh, looking cool and better than you. I'm just not that person now, so I wouldn't want that to be conflicting with who I am today, because it's not.
Especially for what you're trying to do, because you are trying to.
I'm doing the opposite. I'm like,
and like just you're trying to like get your music out there or something. You wouldn't want somebody to come into your page too that has like an important person and like think a certain thing, and just judge you off of that. Like you rather them see you who you are now, so they know who you are now.
And it's not so much that I care what people think; it's just how I want to portray myself to the world, and I don't think people understand that can exist. Like me,
like the whole highlight reel thing.
Yeah, me caring about how I'm perceived by the world doesn't mean that let me correct this. Me caring about how I present myself does not mean I care what other people think. It just means that I care about how I present myself. Like that doesn't mean, because people can at the end of the day still perceive whatever they want. So that's why I can't care what people think, because I can present myself how I want to present myself, and somebody still might take it completely opposite. So that's how those two things can exist, because I know people don't understand how that can work, because they'll be like, no, you still care what people think. And I'm like, I genuinely don't. Like, I really don't, because if I cared what people think, then I would brag a lot more. I would do a lot more things.
It's just about it's not about caring what you want to think, but it's about you wanting to know. Like you want them to know who you are. Like you want them to think of you of actually who you are, and not who they think that you might be. And it's not like you said, it's not really about caring. It's more so about like you want them to know who you are.
Yeah.
And not who you were.
Exactly. And that's why I don't. But moving forward, that won't be a thing. I just think that the reason why I've done it for so long is because I think that now I've reached a place of maturity and thought and of knowledge where I could never go back to where I was before. Like I would say a lot of like misogynistic things or just wild stuff off the top of my head.
To go back to see like the old, how people you were,
or like
not just you personally, but
I'm so turned, like all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Like I'm never gonna be in a place where I'm going back to that. So I feel like there's been like a cutoff, like almost like BC and AD for me. Like it's like completely two different halves of my life that I feel like. Where I was in a horrible place before and just saying whatever, and it's just funny. Like I've always said repeatedly, is that the more I've accomplished, the less I've talked about it, and that's kind of like now I'm at a point where I feel like I'm a brand new person, and I try to learn and try to become a better person. And so many things that were bad that I did previously are over. So moving forward, I probably won't ever archive anything. Before I used to archive stuff or delete stuff because I didn't get enough likes on it. Like all of that kind of stuff is dead. It's over. This stuff doesn't matter.
That's why I do get some people like archiving bits and pieces of stuff that they don't like. But I know a lot of people still like look back at their old pictures and do love like certain looks that they did like forever, like because they feel like it's still fire,
Yeah.
Oh God, wait, I didn't mean to go. Oh wait, I'm trying to show you this tweet that I wrote 10 years ago.
But yeah, so that's kind of just the reason. But
I feel like I was hacked because this doesn't even seem like something I would write. Like whoa, right?
No, that seems like something you would write.
And then I said this. I hope you. I missed blue. I meant to say die in the ocean.
Yeah, that sounds like you.
But I was 15. This seems very like immature.
Yeah, so.
But I'm like, that doesn't seem.
Like all my pictures.
Look, I think I must have been hacked. Who is that?
I don't know.
Like Alex, I must have been hacked because that wasn't me. But still, like you said, like I wouldn't want somebody like going back, finding those old tweets and thinking that's how I still am. If those were my tweets, because I don't think they were my tweets. But
yeah, but that's all I got. I'm sleepy.
But yeah, only other topic I had was about you don't even watch the show. I kind of want to make you watch Insecure the same way I made you watch You. I'm gonna make you watch Insecure because that's a good show. But the new season came out.
Is it about women?
It's basically what the title is, Insecure. Ooh, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm drinking soda and a whole aloe drink. It's about Issa Rae. She's like a socially awkward kind of like she shows like how awkward.
Is it about women?
Can you stop being a creep?
No, that's not being a creep.
It's not about women. is the main character. Well, the main character is a woman, so it's
Then
about
I'm not watching
her
it.
life and her interaction with men. But men are in it too. It's about men's lives and women's lives,
I'm
and
definitely
just
not watching it.
being a young individual in your 30s,
I'm
about
not watching
friendships
it.
and career.
I'm not watching it though.
I'm making you watch it. So, you stop. I'm
not
making you
watching
watch it. I'm making you watch it.
You gotta see how she put her hands on me because I have an opposing
Whoa! I didn't touch you.
view. Okay, just making sure.
I was patting your
No,
arm.
you pinched me.
I didn't pinch you. I didn't pinch you. I patted your
Just
arm.
making sure you guys saw that
Okay.
every time that I disagree with her, she puts her hands on me. I'm just documenting it for the future.
Okay.
So see, you're about to put your hands on me again. See what I mean?
I don't put my hands on you.
Going to sit over here.
I don't put my hands. You
I
ever
don't
got
want no
hit
problems.
you? You ever
Yeah,
got hit you?
I get beat.
Okay. I don't put my hand on you. We don't even fight. Anyway, the new episode came out. And one of the characters, well, I think two of the characters, yeah, two of them are AKAs. And I'm AKA, if anybody doesn't know. My 4 years coming up in 20 days. But yeah. So, yeah, two of the characters are AKAs. And apparently, I didn't even see the episode, but apparently one of the girls who's an AKA was wearing the AKA shield. I think like they were saying that she was wearing the shield. I didn't see pictures or anything, so I can't say that that's a fact, but that's what I'm hearing. I know they showed her wearing AKA, like saying, letters, and like one of the other characters had an AKA mug in like the first season. But apparently she was wearing a shield. And for anybody who doesn't know, our shield is trademarked. Like a lot of the things of AKA are trademarked, and you can't. There's no law interpretation of stuff. If something's trademarked, copyrighted, patented, that's an intangible asset. That's intellectual property. There's nothing. You can't be like, but this, but that. No, there's no if and buts. It's intellectual property. People have the right to copyright and trademark and patent what they want to do, and AKA did that because they, that's their property, their intangible asset that they want to patent. That they want to trademark. So, basically, I think it was one girl who made a tweet. One of my sorors, I'll call her because she is. She said that this was wrong. Like she tweeted at Issa Rae, who's the creator of the show and the main character. She tweeted at her saying, I think she said something, or maybe she didn't tweet at her, but she tweeted how, why are you wearing my shield or whatever on the show? And the girl who plays her, I think her name's Amanda Seales, made a whole video saying, it's just a character I'm playing, which that's valid. Don't come at her, come at the people who had her wearing that, So she was like, because she might not know. And she's just a character. She's just a character playing.
Yeah, but shouldn't you try to know?
Yeah, shouldn't you be like,
what you're wearing?
Yeah, you shouldn't just go, yeah, because what if they had you wearing something offensive? Or what if somebody was like, wear this KKK hood? And you're just like, oh,
okay.
I'm going to put the hood on because that's what they told me. Yeah, you're right.
And we're not comparing AKAs to the KKK.
Yeah. Even though this
Christ.
Yeah. But, so yeah, she made a whole video saying, oh, I'm just playing a character. And then Issa Rae tried to be funny, like, oh, all right, I'm about to go tell HBO to take the episode down right now. I'm going to go delete the episode. Which I feel like that's a little weird. Like, don't be, like, I don't know. That was a little provocative. I don't really like that. You should still respect people how they feel, And then, so basically, there was like, it was half and half. For me, personally, my stance on it is I think it's cool to have a show as popular as Insecure show, the sorority in a good light. It is a little, I think Molly, she's the dark-skinned character, she's AK, but it is a little kind of like off-putting that Tiffany, who's, she's AK, it's typical light-skinned girl who's uppity, like the traditional AKA, light-skinned, bougie, the stereotypes. And it's kind of like, a little kind of like, you kind of look a little type of way, like, why'd you make her the AK? But okay. But basically, like I said, I was all for it. I think it's cool. It's representation. People might not even know who we are, and that was like a good way, for people to kind of know. And it's always good to be like the sorority that like of all the all the black sororities that everybody kind of like were like the top one, I guess you could say. And so I didn't really care. I actually didn't care, but I don't have any type of feelings towards anybody who any of my sorors who did feel like. But I will say I don't think I should really say the full thing because, discretion. But, we did get an email from Nationals about the situation, because anytime that usually always happens, like, oh, we're aware the situation's going on. So we got one of those emails, and it says being handled. That's all I'll say. It's being handled, and all I would say is it wasn't authorized. That's my thing. I was like, oh, I'm sure HBO got permission. I'm sure that they knew to not use something trademark without getting authorization. That's what I assumed, but apparently they did not. So it's being handled. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know what that means, but it's being handled. And intellectual property is intellectual property. At the end of the day, you can't argue that. Like, everybody's so quick to defend Black brands or like individual owners when like a Fashion Nova steals like a small Black owner's design. But now when it's AKA, it's you Greeks are so sensitive. You guys think you're gang members. No, it's intellectual property. No one's saying why can't we respect the sorority? Like, you can have your personal opinion on how you feel about sorority and Greek life, and we're paying to have friends. You can feel however you want to feel, but you can't dispute people getting authorization to use something that's their right, their trademark. Get permission. Like, that's a slap in the face that you want to represent the sorority, but you don't want to get the permission from the actual sorority to use their intellectual property, So, you're a businessman. You know, right? Like, you can't play with stuff like that. Like, why do you think HBO didn't get permission? Do you think they didn't know that it was trademark? But then you would think as a company, you would do your research, right? Like, that's your job. You can't say, oh, we didn't know. But you're a professional company. You should do your research. Because let me see if it's like Googleable.
Yeah, so all trademarks are Googleable.
Even if you type in Alpha Kappa Alpha, our full thing is Alpha Kappa Alpha Incorporated. Like, it's incorporated. So you would know it's a business just from that, right? Incorporated means you're a business.
But trademarks are different.
No, but I'm saying, but just knowing that they're incorporated, you would think, okay, maybe some of their stuff is patented, or is patented the right word? It's trademarked, I think. Because I think patents have to do with
design,
with like designs or like what's it called, inventions. So it's trademark. But if you saw that it was an incorporation, you say, okay, they're incorporated, so they're a business. Let's see if you could, like, you can't just put an apple on the phone, like the Apple symbol. I'm sure the Apple symbol is trademarked, right? You can't just put the apple on. You can't make a phone and put an apple on the back. I'm sure, right? Mm-hmm. So that would be the same thing, but right, Apple's incorporated. They have trademarks. So I'm sure AKA might have trademarks. So if you type in Alpha Kappa Alpha, let's see if it comes up. If you type in trademarks, just to see. Yeah, the pinky trademark too. The pinky is trademark. Look, it's on their thing. Brand and logo terms of use. Trademarks. The Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority badge, the coat of arms, which is the sorority crest, the name Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, the name Ivy Leaf, the sound Skiwi, so our sound that we make, and the fashionetta, so it's a term fashionetta, are federally registered trademarks with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. The badge and coat of arms must not be reproduced or used under any conditions without the written permission of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Reproduction without permission is a legal infringement, and the violator is subject to prosecution. Anyway, all federally registered trademarks should be used with the federal registration symbol. So you had to put, Fashionetta has TM, Ivy Leaf has the C, or you could use R. And it says use of material. All materials on the site, including but not limited to artwork, photographs, maps, data, text, trademarks, service marks, and logos, are the exclusive property of Alpha Kappa Alpha or our contributors and are copyrighted. No portion of the content may be copied, downloaded, reproduced, reused, distributed, transmitted, or modified for any purpose without AK's express written permission. Any unauthorized use of the content may violate copyright laws, trademark laws, and other applicable laws. I think I could have swore the pinky was trademarked too, but maybe not. Look at me not knowing my own information. Let me confirm if that is, because I could have swore I heard it was. But also, like, I know there's certain things you can't do, like, in conjunction. Like, you can't make it, like, you can't combine, like, oh, wait, yeah, it is. Alpha Kappa Alpha, a trademark for the pinky hand up gesture. I could have swore it was. Yeah, it is. Look. Right? Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Yeah, literally the picture. The mark consists of a hand with the pinky finger extended upward. We don't play. AKA, one thing about AKA, I want people to know, because everybody swears Greek life is this, we stepping and strolling and we partying. AKA is about business. Out of all sorority, I don't know all the ins and outs of every other sorority or fraternity, especially within the D9. But one thing about AKA, they always been about business. Like they take business seriously and they handle a lot of stuff seriously. So I wonder what's gonna happen. It would be sad to see them take a whole episode down. And I feel people like, oh my God, I can already see it now. People will be up in arms, right? Because that's another thing I'm going to get into about how people are always clowning sororities and saying that we're not gangs. Even though, like, it's just like, it's just crazy because it's like, you can feel, like I said, you can feel how you want to feel. But sororities have done a lot, like, impact-wise. They've done a lot, especially for the Black movement and, like, the civil rights movement. And they do a lot for their communities as far as community service. There's a lot of stuff that goes that goes around, and people think we're just paying for friends. Like, what? Paying for friends? Like, I'm not even social. Like, I don't even really talk to my line sisters like that. Like, I didn't pay for friends. I had a passion to be in the sorority, and some people they do. Yeah, some people are really kind of like, you know, dependent on that. They did it for their image. You know, you could tell that the people who did it for their image, because we know people personally who we feel did it for their image and thought it would automatically make them cool, and it don't work like that. There's plenty of people I know who are like that, and I will say there's always outliers everywhere. There's always people who are in it for the wrong reasons, in every aspect of life. But that's not what the sorority was founded for. That's not how any D9 sororities were founded for. So I feel like people should just respect the history, respect the people who do it right, respect the people who do it for the right reasons, and respect the work that's put in. Like, why does it have to be clown? Black people always want to clown each other for stuff. Like, it's always like the whole, oh, we're going to uplift gangs. We're going to uplift gang members, but we're going to come at people who are educated Black people trying to make a difference, you know, for themselves in the community. Like, why is that clown worthy? But, ooh, yes, gangs, dope, GS9, whatever people be saying, like, trying to act like they're gang members, like, oh, I caught a body, blah, blah. Like, people love to gas that stuff up, which is based on degrading our people. They love it, but they hate sororities. It's corny. It's corny to be college educated and doing community service. And I get it is corny. I will say, as a DI member, the Q's doing the whole eat in the air, that's corny and weird. I don't know. That's not what the founders intended for them to do, I'm sure. So I get some of that stuff is corny. If the men join the Greeks, like men's joining fraternities and being like, hitting up girls, hey, I'm a Q. You want slide through in the girl like, oh nah, it's like, how you don't want me? I'm a Q. Corny. Cornball. You did all that to get you tried to join. You didn't join to do community service. You joined for social status. Corny. I agree. But don't come at the people who are doing it right. Don't come at the organization as a whole. Don't come at the founders who established these things for us. Like, you know. You just zoning out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just annoying, but we'll see what happens. You can't just redistribute intellectual property. Like, that's not how it works. I'm sorry, Issa Rae, since you want to be funny, you can't just put on a badge of somebody who's not a member. Like, people were saying that why not just get a member play her, right? Like, why not just get a member be that character? There's plenty of actors or actresses out there who are AKs. Find an AK actress, you know, if you want somebody to represent the sorority. And I get people might not be educated, but if you are making a show and you are having somebody wear something that people earned, I feel like you should do your research. You know, you just don't know. You might have not known, but then do your research, right? Like, isn't that your responsibility? Doesn't that make you look very unprofessional that you didn't even know? Because you saw how easy it was for me to Google it. Like, let's just make sure anything that we're using is we can, or just email the AK, right? Just email them and ask for permission. And let the sorority headquarters aware, right? Like, I just feel like that's like, what kind of producer of a show are you, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm about to try to watch the episode before they take it down. You think they're going to take it down?
No.
You think they're just going to hit them with a fine?
No, I think they're just going to blur it out.
Probably, right? They probably had to go back and blur it. Because they're going to have to do something, right? Like, I don't know. I don't really know much about that stuff, like, about trademarks and stuff. Like, Like it says, like, I would have to read the laws, the copyright laws and trademark laws. Like, but do you know anything about it? Like, do you know what usually are the consequences of redistributing? Because they do make money off the episode. Like so they could sue for that, right? But they wouldn't be able to just try to. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how that works. Like with copyright stuff, like can you sue and can you get money?
Yes, you could get punitive damages. They wouldn't be able to argue that the use of the trademark generated revenue for them, because that is not true.
And you can't trace that either. Like you can't trace how much money was made.
You could charge punitive damages. You could charge based on how many people saw it, basically.
True.
They could have the episode taken down. They could do a bunch of different things.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they would take the episode down. They might go back and blur out like whatever has to be blurred. So that would be kind of crazy. That'd be wild. People still gonna be mad. They blurred out and go, why is it blurred? You guys are so sensitive. Why is it blurred? Some people are using dumb examples too. They're like, people play like they said something like people are actors and dress up as basketball players and they're not basketball players. You think basketball players are offended? I'm like, it's not the same thing. Like I don't get why people just can't respect stuff. Like people did earn. Like I know that sounds like pretentious, but like you did earn those letters, Like it's not like you didn't put the time, the effort, the money like into being in these organizations and like going through everything that like you have to go through to get in. And it's like that's like kind of such a slap in the face to people like me, like a lot of like my time. Like you saw me that semester, like that was probably my worst semester in college history, like failed 2 classes. Like that was a really like crazy time, and that kind of big argument. Oh, like that's messed up. You failing classes to get into a thing. It's like no, not purposely. Like, but that's just the type of time. Like it was like a lot of like just strain on you, just and like a lot of like just work that you had to put in, and people don't view it as like a thing to respect. And I don't get it why you just can't simply respect it, So. I already know if whatever happens, there's going to be some type of outrage, but we shall see. So, anything else?
Nope.
I don't know if you want to talk about anything else. I don't know if anything happened this week.
Nope. Thank you guys for watching. This has been the A Couple of Things podcast with Alex and Mal. We discussed a couple of things. Make sure you guys check us out every Monday morning at 8 a.m., even though it won't be uploaded at 8 a.m. because somebody doesn't do the descriptions properly. But, you can expect it at some point on Mondays. Make sure you guys go hit the description, find our socials, tweet at us, DM us on Instagram, drop some comments, let us know what you like, what you don't like. We love it all. Thank you for watching. If you made it to this point, we definitely do appreciate the support. Again, thank you for watching. You got anything?
I'm trying to see.
Okay. And this is the end of the episode. I'm going to cut off the audio now. Let me hit some air horns for you guys.
I wonder how good is going to feel like this.
And we will see you guys later.
It's hot.